Well, hello everyone, and welcome to day 8 of the free Global Client Attraction Training. So, let me explain. I am not in my usual setup today. In fact, the camera probably looks fuzzy. I was all set to go at 4 o'clock, testing everything. Everything was ready when suddenly we had a thunderstorm and the power went out. So, I quickly drove across to a nearby hotel, and so I'm on their Wi-Fi, and we know that hotel lobby Wi-Fi is not usually the best. So I'm going to be trying my best here to make this a great presentation for you to share the information that I have ready for you today. I also have some guests who are joining me on this live stream. So I'm just going to check in with them to make sure that they're all set and everything is ready to go. So today we're talking all about making your brand irresistible. For those of you joining this for the first time, I'm Hannah Fitz, international brand strategist and business coach from the brand atelier at hannahfitz.com. And I'm so thrilled to have you here with me today as we talk about how you make your brand irresistible. How do you attract those ideal clients that you desire to work with from all over the world? So let me introduce you to the special lady before I show you quickly a presentation that I want to show you. So we have with us Dr. Nadine Collins, and she is the founder of she's the founder of Nadine Collins International, and is an international speaker, author, and spiritual wellness coach. Nadine, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
So in case you missed it, I just said that I'm not under my usual setup because we have a thunderstorm. So I had to quickly run over to a nearby hotel to get on Wi-Fi. Okay. So please bear with my connection as well. Our second guest is Vera Ferrer, and she is the founder of the Divine Feminine Academy. She is a conscious feminine expert, author, and international speaker. Vera, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's just a delight to be here with you. Thank you.
Very cool. So if you could just share with our viewers, just tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of, where you started, because a lot of people listening to this are either starting a brand, have a brand, but looking to rebrand, and they're somewhere along the journey. So can you just share a little bit about your journey of where you were before we actually met and you actually relaunched your brand? So Nadine, maybe you can go first. Nadine?
Okay, really a pleasure to be here with you. Wait, yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Are
yes,
you
we can hear you.
Me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Hello.
Hi, Nadine. We can hear you. Hello. Hi, Dora. Welcome. We can hear you, Nadine.
So yes. Where did I the
So Nadine, if we will just let Vera go until your internet connection stabilizes a little. So Vera, can you go, and then we will bring Nadine back on?
Yes, certainly, with much pleasure. And I came from the corporate world about 20 years ago, and it was quite a different mindset, and everything was different. I changed to become an author of self-development, the transpersonal astrology. Yes. Working with Heal Your Life, who is a positive psychology, and the studies of goddess and the sacred feminine. And so it was a huge transition. And it was really amazing. And I started developing the brand as I was developing myself as therapist, as author, as speaker. And 4 years ago, after my husband passed away, I went into a process of mourning and the process of retreat, a process of rebirth. And then you came to my life, Anna. exactly in this beautiful synchronicity of life, where I was absolutely needing somebody because the world out there in 4 years was absolutely different. The digital world, the online world. I mean, it was a totally different world, and I was feeling lost. I was already well known in my country, in my work, my books,
Yes.
my DVDs, and all my legacy. I can say, but
Yeah.
I made this stop of 4 years, and so it was a different world. I had to start all over again to recreate my story, to recreate myself, and to express that the woman I was becoming to the world. So you helped me. It was absolutely precious because Anna, your talent, your sensitivity, your intuition, your creativity, your inspiration never ceases me to amaze me, and to inspire me. You are a brilliant, for me, you were a brilliant coach, a brilliant mentor, a brilliant strategist. And I'm very grateful because really what I felt is that since from the first moment, you read my soul, you read my
Yeah.
soul.
Thank
You understood my archetype, so you understood the colors of my soul, and with such a mastery, you brought that, you helped me to bring those colors to the outside through the
Yeah.
process of the brilliant process of the logo, the brilliant process of all the message of the brand in all its forms. I mean, it was such a fascinating work, I must say, because it was also self-discovery. And I was feeling myself empowered at the same time with the beauty of the process, and finally ready to step into the world.
Yeah.
That's where I am now. That's where I am now.
Amazing, amazing. And Vera, I have to say that, I mean, Vera is, she does a lot of feminine work,
Yes.
and she is brilliant at what she does. And she is actually what, I mean, she talks about the journey of going through that process of having to mourn her husband, and anyone who's lost anyone in their life can relate to what it can be like if you're running a business and then you lose someone you love. It can actually put a full stop on things for a little while. And she went through the process of coming back and realizing it was a different world. But Vera is actually one of my rock star clients. I mean, this woman knows how to not just sell what she's offering and bring clients around her and bring crowds of people around her, but she also is a brilliant master at what she does. And that's the beauty of it, that when you're a master at what you're doing, it's about having the right messaging and discovering your it factor, your archetypes, to bring it out into the world in a stronger way. So thank you so much for sharing that, Vera. You are, I mean, a gem. I'm really blessed to work with some of the most amazing women creating amazing results. I mean, all of last year, Vera was like hitting consistent five-figure months at a high level and really doing amazing in her business. So I'm really proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. So Nadine, just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yes, you
There.
guys, are you hearing me clearly?
Yes.
You guys are hearing me. So my journey, how I met, how I was launched my international brand. I finished my PhD years ago, well, actually over 5 years ago. I had been traveling, doing some events and so on. I had a lot of higher education. I did a lot of things with women, and I reached a point where I recognized that I had so much going for me. I had so many talents, but I recognized that I needed to be doing something that was strategic. I knew what I wanted. I did not know how to do it. And I remember the first time I saw Hannah's website, I was like, wow, this is amazing. As soon as I immediately said with this that I love, the sophistication, everything just attracted me immediately. And so I reached out to her, knowing, how I was going to make it happen. And that's really a big part of my story in general. People always say that, when they reach out to you or something, I cannot do this thing right now. One of the things I've recognized is that I have not anything in place to get anything done. And yet I have been everything that I've desired. And that has been part of my journey. So when I reached out to Han, we were able to discovery call, and we were able to just talk. He was able to help me bring a lot of what I had been going for me already. Sometimes we're searching for things outside of ourselves to be able to do. But one of the things I realized through our process was that everything I wanted to accomplish, I already had it. And so
Yeah.
if we need to focus on how best we can
Hmm.
obviously no one taught how to pray effectively, but being told to pray and the power of prayer without knowing the tools and the strategies to use to make that effective. And that's one of the first things we did together when we were as a certified prayer counselor. And that has been a big blessing to people who take that class as well. And that has been a big blessing to people who take that class as well. And we've also built other programs like the coaching. I remember when I got that in prayer, this coaching, and I had when I was on my way to Kenya and we were having a meeting, and I told you, and you said, I'm not coming. And later on, you told me to develop the program, and I developed a wrong program. And since then, I developed a training program. And since then, the Bali retreat was so extremely amazing for me because of what I was able to do on that. And that gave me in terms of, and you, Nadine, you could focus on speaking because I've been unknown to having the speaking like 2 years in advance. And there's so much that I can tell you to speak. And so a lot of the clarity that I've received and the guidance and so on in brand, like ensuring that everything I do has the same presence, and all of that has been part of the journey that I've experienced with you. And finally, I want to touch on the archetype.
So let's hold the archetype for a minute. Okay. So we're going to dive about Nadine. Nadine, we're going to hold on to the archetype for a minute because I want to do a little bit of training around that and then bring you ladies in to share your experience about the archetype. So everyone here today, I want to show you something about, I remember in 2001, this commercial came out. And, when I saw this commercial, it just stuck in my head. Venus, reveal the goddess in you. A product like a razor, something that was, something so private. You never wanted it in the open. You just wanted to do this task and get it over with. And the brand was able to reframe the story and have you cast it as a goddess experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the it factor of why this campaign was so successful, that they leveraged archetypes, 2 specific archetypes that allowed them to communicate and tell every woman that you can be a goddess. Which woman doesn't want to be a queen? Which woman doesn't see herself in that elegance? We all want that goddess feeling. And the brand was able to tap into that. So it was not just a product. It was an experience. It was a journey into a part of yourself you might not have even considered was there. Maybe some women never even saw themselves as a goddess, but suddenly they're using the Venus and they feel like a goddess. And so that's part of what I teach clients in terms of building an irresistible brand, in terms of not selling a product, but really creating those framing stories through what we call discovering your it factor. So we find the fit for your brand, and it factor really stands for what is your irresistible core and what is the twist of your brand. And we do this by researching, literally, as Vera called it, like finding the soul of your brand. We're not trying to make up things. Your archetype isn't what you want it to be. It is what you truly are. It is the essence. But if we just use one archetype, it might be too much of one thing that isn't balanced enough to create that differentiation and to resonate with your market. And that's why the it factor is so powerful, because when you're able to combine these two powerful energies, you're able to communicate with your customers and your ideal clients in a way that is more powerful and that is more magnetic, and that will bring you more clarity in how you message. The whole message of discover your inner goddess, this is archetypal. Now, recently, Gillette ran another campaign. I think it's called the Be the Best Man or the Best Man, something like that. Be the Best Man or the Best Man. And that campaign was a complete failure. I wouldn't say it's a complete failure, but it really is becoming like the most talked about campaign, not because it's good, but because people don't like it. And the reason is that because they hit it, they really hit it well when they use the archetypes, but they missed it when they use the stereotypes. And that is the line that, you have to also understand in your messaging. Where are you being archetypal or where are you being stereotypical? Because it can make the difference between a winning campaign and a campaign that fails. And so, I really want to share with you that messages are how brands communicate, right, with us. The best message taps into our unconscious mind and our desires. The best message is able to introduce us to ideas and parts of ourselves that we haven't seen before. The world's most successful brands leverage their archetype to attract their it factor to attract more clients. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're already in business. Uncovering your brand's true identity, your it factor, will help you cut through the noise, stand out as distinct and irresistible to your ideal clients. So, I wanted the ladies to share their story because they've been through the process. And I know at Bali, in the Bali retreat, we really dive deep into the application of your it factor in your marketing and your messaging, and even in the photo shoot that we did. So if you can just, before you share your story, I want to share something with everyone on the benefits of this. So when I lived in Milan, I used to love walking along the luxury streets like Via Monte Napoleone and on all these chic streets where the Armanis and the Versaces and all the top boutiques are. And I would just like to observe people, right? Because I love to study consumer behavior and how people interact with brands. And I would observe people, and it was almost as if each of these boutiques were like filters. So some people were attracted to some and others weren't. And it almost seemed like the same type of people with the same type of behavior and dressing were going into the same kind of stores, and the others weren't. And I realized that brands are both qualifiers and disqualifiers of people. Your brand has to do those two things. It has to qualify the right clients and it has to disqualify the wrong clients so they don't even walk in. Right? And it wasn't by accident that these stores were attracting certain clients. These brands invest millions of dollars in research on human behavior, on neurological research to understand how we operate at a psychological level so that they can pull us in. But lucky for you, you don't have to do that research again because the data is there, the facts are there. We just need to follow the blueprint of what these big brands have invested in and do what they're doing, even if you're just starting out. So ladies, I want you to share, because you've done your archetype and you know what your master archetype is. So if you share what your master archetype is and share with us how your it factor has helped you better gain clarity on how you show up in the market, how you message, and how you attract clients. So we'll go with Vera since you went first on the introduction, and then Nadine.
I must say, Anna, that as I worked with archetypes in feminine psychology for 20 years, when you came with the archetypal marketing and branding, it was amazing for me. It was really amazing. And it really brings so much clarity and depth and power, empowerment to the message. It's really precious, and I don't think it can be. There is no substitute, Anna, for it. There is no substitute for it. So, my first is the magician. My first archetype is the magician. Then I have the shaman, which is also the part of the family of the sage, and the queen, the ruler, the queen. Um, and it gives me such the clarity, the focus, the precision in the messages, and everything in the Bali retreat. The way to embody the energy of the archetypes in the photo shooting, in the video shooting, in the way we dress, in the way we stay in the photo. I mean, everything is magical for me because it makes total sense. And it is as it expanding what we are inside.
Yeah.
So it really qualifies the best audience for us when we do this archetypical work. It does that, and thankfully it also disqualifies what is not for us.
Yeah. So Vera, you had the experience of using your archetype to create your marketing message. How was that different from when you were creating like scripts for your videos versus using your archetypes to create your core message for marketing?
You know, Anna, in my personal experience, I like to I can write because I'm a writer, so I can write about everything. So I was confused because it was a sea of information. You see, I was lost in this sea of information. I was relying a little bit in my intuition because I'm very much inspired by my intuition. Today I will write about this tomorrow, but it was dispersed. I mean, it has not strategy. It has no strategy. It had no strategy, you know. So it is more clear now. And what is happening is that it is attracting people from all over the world that are in resonance and in alignment with my archetypes. So because the message is so much clearer, and I don't waste time anymore, not energy nor energy, and well, it's magical.
Amazing. Really, really great. And for those of you who haven't checked out Vera, I do encourage you to check out Vera and her Divine Feminine School and see what she's doing. And I can't wait for you to launch that video that you recorded during our time in Bali, because the message is so powerful, so clear. You know, even my partner who was there, who has nothing to do, he doesn't really understand this whole spiritual world and all of this feminine work, but was ready to sign up for Vera's program after he heard. And it was a huge difference from the first round when you were just doing it on intuition and on what was coming to you. There's more structure. You now know how to frame your story.
Absolutely. And also has a reaction. And reaction is not conscious. We need to act, not to react, because action is creative. And it is a huge difference. Yes.
Totally. Amazing, Vera. So tell me, Nadine, Vera, can you just share with us what is the core message of your brand?
So the magician has to do with transformation.
What is the core message?
Yes. It is illuminate and expand to feel the magic of life.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Excellent. So Nadine, let's go. Nadine is frozen. So I think we've lost Nadine. So Nadine, are you here?
Yes. So the archetype, I'm still, yes. Okay, so my friend with the archetype. In fact, when I got the report for when I read it, shock, because everything I was reading was me. And I thought to myself, this I don't know what how it is, she's able to just put me on. So that was my initial reaction, shock. We've worked together. I'm realizing so at my core that I'm a liberator because I am the and as we were working together, we saw that and also an influencer or mentor. This internally, but also the work that I do on the outside to free themselves from the way that they're thinking. I am dealing with Christian women, trying to get them to liberate themselves from the indoctrinations, the things that they were taught in church that really has no basis or supposed to guide them in the way that they're living and preventing them from dreaming, from aspiring for more, from believing that they can do more than what they're doing and that they were actually meant to do. And so I'm realizing more and more that who I am and that archetype report, what it actually shared or what it gave me was what I'm supposed to be doing and who I'm supposed to be liberating from to free them what's possible. Life is the literal possible because I grew up in the Christian church, the same church as them. I also grew up in a small island and so on, and yet still the world is my stage. And so my life and the archetype report is so aligned that my job is to liberate Christian women, to help them to want to get more. And the core message that Hannah and I came up with together, and everything works together, is that you can live your wow life now. You don't have to wait for tomorrow for you to be able to experience a life that you're dreaming of. You can live that life now. And so that is why my journey is to help to empower them what they have been taught, to also break through the mindset pieces. We call it the mentally constructed glass ceiling, the phrase that came
So
out of my
quickly, let me
doctoral
interrupt.
dissertation.
Yes, let me just interrupt, Nadine. You're going to continue. So what Nadine talks about with the mentally constructed glass ceiling is that we take our clients to the process of creating. We want you to become like I said yesterday in the video on expert positioning, to be able to diagnose the problem that your clients have. So her clients are experiencing a mentally constructed glass ceiling. That is her methodology, her signature method within her program.
Yes.
Go ahead,
And
Nadine.
so,
Yeah.
yes. And so what happened when we were planning the campaign is that I experienced an epiphany, because now I understand that I don't have to, because I used to spend so much time writing posts just based on quotes. But now I understand that whatever I am doing, it has to be from the terms of being a visionary, of being an influencer, somebody who helps to free people. So now every post I will work on from till that is strategic to help me reach people. And Ahana, as you mentioned, I have been attracting some undesirables, which means that
Yeah.
my story unclear in the show window of who I really want to
Yes.
attract. I need to be attracting
Yes.
people coming for the right purpose. And so I still need to work on being
Yeah.
much more strategic in how I write my messages, because like Vera, I'm an author and I could write whatever. But now I have to be very strategic in who I want to attract, because people are coming on discovery calls and not some of the clients that I want to attract. So it means that I still have to work on ensuring that the messaging is aligned with that archetype that I want to attract. People like me who desire that freedom, who want to be liberated from the and who really want to experience their wow life, their best life now.
Absolutely. And you know what happens is, because you've been in a pattern where you were posting in a certain way. So you already had a certain type of audience from the misaligned posting. What's going to start to happen for you
Yeah.
is that these people are going to start to fall away,
Yeah.
because they're no longer going to resonate with the new path that you're taking with your messaging.
I've
Right?
seen that
So
happening already.
yeah. Yeah. And you've been able to attract some pretty amazing clients for your programs. Just before you came
Yes.
to the trip in Bali, You enrolled two amazing clients into your high-end program. When you launched your online course, so that was one of the first things we launched. Nadine was able to bring in, I think, about 34 people into her online course.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it around
now
that
we
number, or was
have
it?
now we have about 60 people enrolled.
Wow.
Well, who actually signed up for the class worldwide in over 30. And it's just now yes, so that's good. So it's gone
Amazing,
global.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so
You
I'm
see, I
working
didn't even
more
know. She didn't even tell me. She didn't even tell me about all of these new enrollments that that she's been getting. So this is
happened
really
over the
amazing.
past year.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So you see, ladies, it's about getting clear about the message. And Nadine is also now shifting, because a lot of people knew her in one light. And now she's shifting that to really position herself as an expert, focusing as she discussed, one of her strongest expert positionings is in speaking, right? And so we've been really pushing towards her moving more into standing in that light. It's no accident that she's traveled to, I don't know how many different countries all over the world, speaking, and she has so much to offer people in terms of building their speaker platform. So, sometimes we can be a little bit skeptical about stepping into Arch, but this is where we get the explosive results. Recently, you worked with a client where you got amazing results, where she was able to open up about stories in her life and share and get her voice, and it helped liberate others. So this is really amazing. Congratulations on all the clients that you have in the online program. This is amazing. I'm really, really happy to have that.
Yeah.
So tell me, ladies, in terms of Nadine, I'm going to just ask both of you. You did something, and I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow in the training, but it has a lot to do with the archetype. In terms of using the archetype and the framework of the framing story, how is using that framework helping you better fine-tune your marketing message?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it was another extremely powerful instrument, because again, ordered my ideas. It put a structure into my ideas.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to be a little chaotic with so many books and ideas and information, because I love knowledge, and as Nadine, I mean, it gave me structure.
Yeah.
It gave me clarity on the most important aspects of my program regarding the needs of my ideal audience.
Yeah.
And that was extremely useful, so that I could more effectively create the stories in the messages that I continuously produce to my audience. So they are growing. It also, what I felt also was that it helped me positioning as the authority that I was already, but in a worldwide level.
Yeah.
And now I can share that, for instance, I have people, it is beyond my wildest dreams, Anna. I had an invitation from a lady, which is a Jungian analyst. She is director of an academy in the United States, and she wanted to work with me. I mean, I don't know how she I'm not a Jungian analyst. I love Jung, and I study Jung, and I study the archetypes. I have passion for this theme, but she found me, and she's coming to she's coming to me. She's coming to Portugal. She said, "Can I join you in your training?" So it's an absolute honor. It is. I never dreamt of it. So it is amazing what happens when we are aligned.
Totally. And that's the thing about it, that, I always say to people, Most people think they're only going to make money in their business through clients. But think about the partnership opportunities. I mean, Vera, also, if you don't mind me sharing, that you also just got invited to host an event in India.
Yes.
You're hosting another one in Sri Lanka. So,
Yes.
all of these sort of opportunities that are available to you when your brand is well positioned, when some of the world class experts start calling you to collaborate with them. These are the type of things that happen when you discover your it factor, because they will begin to see that it factor in you subconsciously, and they're going to be drawn to you. Sometimes people don't even know why they're drawn to you.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're doing that's drawing them in, you can keep doing it to draw more people like them in. Yeah?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You wanted to share something, Vera?
No, I'm excited. I'm extremely excited. I mean, what is coming it's amazing. Is as I told you, it is beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
But things are happening, and I am being faithful to my
Yes.
values. I'm being faithful to my core message, to who I am. And
Yes.
that is absolutely beautiful. The more I am faithful to my soul and to my values that are
Yes.
expressed to the archetypes in the world, the more I am able to help more and more women to become conscious and to become
Absolutely.
themselves, the person they were meant to be in this life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, so just share with me in terms of your confidence level and in terms of your ability to express your brand, and what your vision is for your brand next, and how do you see yourself evolving through this work and through everything that you've done, and still launching, because I know some of you are still launching some new programs, some new websites, and things like that. So
Is
if you
it a
could,
question for me or Nadine?
both of you.
Can Nadine, can
Oh,
you,
I was
I
supposed to
know.
share about the framing and how the
Yes,
archetype
Nadine.
helped me with the framing story.
Yes.
So, because it guided us into looking at the core of our brand, looking at the different
Yeah.
aspects of our brand, as prepared to write the story, it was a because we really had to zero in, because again, we write so much and it was not tailored to suit exactly what the archetype messaging was. And so it was a challenge, but when the finished product was there, it was like, wow, this is how I'm supposed to be writing my messages to reach my clients. So you looking at the core of my message, looking at who I am and who I'm trying to reach, who that ideal client is, and what it is I want to tell them. Who are these people? And if I want to liberate to reach these people and not just everybody else. Because I'm throwing out
Yeah.
the net, but I'm not intending to catch every fish. I'm looking for a specific type of fish. And so
Totally.
writing that framing story using the archetype report was a totally wonderful experience, because it taught me through the process, because I had to delete so much and I had to rewrite so much, that it is not
Mhm.
about writing everything. It's about how I can use what is in front of me, which is that archetype report, words that we can use to reach his ideal clients. Every single archetype
Yeah.
report is important in terms of my ideal client, in terms of me, how I bring that message across, looking at the desires of my ideal clients, the fears that they have, which are associated maybe what lifestyle they were living and what they
Yes.
desire to live, and how can my campaign meet a particular need. And that is what I'm going through learning right now, so that every month or every time I do a campaign, I want to use the very same outline that you gave, very sure about what I'm doing, and I'm not just trying to hit hair all over the place and not being able to score any points because I'm just too
Yeah.
far and wide.
Totally. And the report that Nadine speaks about is the Untitled Chapter.
It it seems that something happened with the connection, Ivana.
Yes, it froze
That
there
there was
for
a
a little
power
bit.
outage at the
So,
I think it's
hotel.
okay.
restarting now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a power
Yes.
outage
It's
at the
nice to see you,
hotel.
Vera.
Nice to see you, Nadine, my dear.
So there's a power outage at the hotel, but it's back. So ladies, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so as I was
Yes,
saying
we're
that
hearing you.
the report that I speak about, I do apologize for the interruption. We do have a very poor weather system, and so it's also gotten to the hotel now, but the generators kicked in.
Yeah.
So the report that Nadine speaks about is the archetypal report that tells them about the it factor. It tells you about what words to use. It tells you about the messaging, the brand voice, and all the key areas that allows you to better communicate with your market. But one thing that the lady shared that I think is really important to underscore is the fact that not every story is important for the marketing doing. Not all of your story is relevant, and that's why the archetype and using that it factor really keeps you in check, because it allows you to select only the most relevant pieces to the big frame that you're trying to create. So tomorrow you're going to be talking more about the frame. You'll get a workbook that shows you the framework of this all. But the most important thing is to understand your brand identity, because it allows you not only to attract the right clients, but it allows you to attract the right partnerships. It allows you to attract the right employees. I have someone a client who said to me that they were able to select the right people for their team who were in perfect alignment with their vision and their goals and where they wanted to go, because they were able to select employees who were archetypally aligned for their business.
Wow.
Nice.
And so this is really about aligning everything, because you go and you hire someone who isn't an archetypal match for your business. They're not helping you grow. They're just holding you back. They don't have the right energy. They're not bringing the right stuff to the table. And sometimes knowing your own archetype, you then understand what are the weaknesses of my archetype that allows me now to hire these people to come in and complement what I'm offering. So this work is really important. And, Nike, one of the greatest, most valuable brands in the world, is a purely archetypal brand. And you look at the ads that the name Nike comes from the goddess of victory. The ads are all about just do it. They leverage the hero archetype, and they also leverage the girl next door archetype. So it's never just one, right? They're always leveraging 3 archetypes within marketing messaging. And we show you how to do this if you're in any of the programs or you do decide to join, that we do go through this process. But ladies, I do want to, as we wrap up today, I just want you to share with everyone here how they can find you, follow you, and see what you're doing, giving everyone an opportunity to discover your work and the amazing things that you're doing in the world.
Should I start, Anna?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my website, my new wonderful website, first in Portuguese version and very soon in English translation. It's still being in these. It's in these last days, so it's not online yet. But I have information on my Facebook page. And I am working. I've launched Divine Academy, for the Divine Feminine. Sorry, the Academy for the Conscious and Divine Feminine. It is online. This is an online signature program, and I have already women from 10 countries. They are English speaking women. Sorry, Portuguese-speaking women for the moment, but in the beginning of next year, I will start with the English-speaking program. Okay, so for the moment, we are online, and the retreats are still in Sri Lanka are bilingual. In India, will be English. The language will be English. So I would say that you can follow me by my Facebook page, on my Facebook page. and soon, very soon, in my website as
Yes.
well.
And listen to this, right? What you will understand from the work that I do with clients, that when you know your brand identity and you have your brand strategy, that even without the website, you can start rocking it out and
Yes.
attracting clients and doing amazing work and making money,
Yes.
right? The website is going to supplement that
Yes.
and get
Mhm.
people to find you on Google. But even before you have that, you can begin to start attracting clients because everything is in alignment.
Let me tell you, Anna, that that was an important
Yes.
lesson. Another important lesson I learned with you. That
Yeah.
without a website, I could enroll clients, I could launch a school, I could do my signature program worldwide. It was a huge lesson. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Nadine, let's share with others
Yes.
how they
Yeah,
can find you.
like Vera, my website is not really up yet. I do have my name, nadinecollins.com.
Mhm.
But in order to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook, Nadine Collins in Ministry, or on Instagram, Nadine Collins. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. And this month, my campaign, as we developed in Bali, is really focusing on the speaker mentorship program. So if any of you are interested, for example, in getting on stages locally, I really would like to
Yeah.
work with you. If you want to get your message out there, you want out there so that you can really be able to know how you can, get yourself, how you can get your bookings, but first of all, how you can, of course, what I've learned from Hannah, I used to help my clients in terms of developing that story and that message with clarity, of course, so that you can become an in-demand speaker. Because if I can do it, I'm sure you can do it too. We just need to know what your story is and be prepared to get you out there. And so you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, and so on. And I thank Hannah for this opportunity to be able to share a little bit of my journey. And there is so much more that I will learn and so much more to. And I am really just excited about what the future has to hold because of all the knowledge that I've gained through the coaching and mentorship process that you provided.
Thank you so much, ladies. Amazing, amazing. I'm so proud of both of you. You know, you have been able to attract international opportunities, launch your programs. And so when the ladies say they don't have a website, sometimes we put in place structures like, special landing pages
Mhm.
that really allow them to
Yes.
do their sales. So certain
Mhm.
funnels that we build together. So I
Yes.
help them
Yeah.
through the process of building those online structures that allow them to create online sales and attract clients even before they do the full website. So there are
Mhm.
ways to work around those
Yes.
things to get you to market faster and to get you attracting clients faster once you have the clarity on your brand strategy and your brand identity. So I thank you so much for joining here today. Please, if you're joining the replay, because I know most of you are going to be joining the replay, I think we have over almost 200 women around the world who've signed up for this training. So when you join the replay, leave a comment. Tell us where you're joining from. Ask your questions. If you want to reach out to any of the ladies, post. They're part of the group. They're going to be able to go in and respond to you if you have any questions for any one of them. Thank you so much for joining here, ladies. And as always, live the cultured life.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.